guys, welcome to my second video from Creating and Depressed, my YouTube channel. Today, the topic that I want to focus on is the power of words. Ta-da! Probably that's nothing groundbreaking, like we've all heard that before. What you think and what you say really do affect your life and what happens and da-da-da-da-da. But I want to say from personal experience that maybe you should consider it even more. And I'm going to tell you why. Just basically, I studied Buddhism when I was in college at Hofstra University, and that's where I really started getting on the self-improvement track, because that's when I realized that there are coping strategies and there are other ways to think that might help me. That doesn't mean that I'm curable per se, but there are ways that I can feel better. A little background on the Buddhist concept that I'm going to use right now. We've all heard of karma, obviously, but you might not have known that there's 3 different types of karmic actions. What you do, we already do that. What you say, and what you think. 3. So it's not just what you do that kind of count. All of these kind of count in the weight of the universe of what you're attracting and what's coming back to you. For like a week of your life, just commit to, even just an hour, commit to watching your thoughts. Watching what your brain is telling you. You might think off the top of your head, okay, like I know Gina, like I think a couple bad thoughts a day, we all do it. But if you really observe, you might be super surprised and almost devastated at how many negative thoughts it is. And you might not realize that, oh my gosh, it's only negative thoughts and it's constant and they're spiraling. I would say that that is step 1 in the action plan, so to speak, is just observe your thoughts and look at them. Next, anytime you catch yourself thinking a negative thought, think 2 positive ones. 1 to kind of negate it, we're back at neutral, and then 1 to build yourself up a step. I know none of this is probably groundbreaking and you've probably heard all of this before, but I'm here to tell you to really try it. And I know you might be exhausted and tired and the last thing you want to do is like try something, but I do think it's worth it. I will also admit that I heard this advice for months and months and months and months and months and months before actually doing it. So repetition of hearing it is definitely not a bad thing, and I think eventually the more you hear it, the more you kind of catch on. You're like, alright, well, what could hurt anyway? The next piece of it that I want to talk about is actually what you're saying, and not just what you're saying to others, but what you're saying about yourself and to yourself aloud. Even if there's no one in the room, I want you to try and say an affirmation. Affirmation could be anything that you've been struggling with. I'm pretty. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy where I'm at right now. I'm proud of this project I'm doing. Whatever it is, whatever you've been struggling with, just say the opposite. Say it in a positive light. This literally is a karmic action, and you're putting out vibes, if you will, into the universe to attract it to be good, to be okay. The first time you say it, you might not believe it. The 20th time you say it, you might not believe it. But down the road, you will start believing. And this, the out loud part, literally took me like 2 years to do it, because I felt like such a dummy. Even if I was in my room by myself, I was like, why would I just talk to myself? I did it, and now when I do it, I feel like vibrations in my chest. Like I feel like I'm taking action. And for me, I'm kind of like a type A perfectionist. Meditation, not that it doesn't work for me, but I find it extremely hard to clear my mind. I can't just sit there and breathe. And so this for me is like an active type of meditation, because I feel like I'm actually doing something for progress. So this is kind of still my segue on my journey to hopefully one day being able to meditate for longer than literally 30 seconds without a thought coming into my head. So I'm still right there with you, still learning all of this stuff. Give it a try. I know you might feel really stupid doing it, but just try it, because, you know, especially if you've been stuck in the same spot for a long time, at least you're doing something new. Who knows? It could help. Alright, so now let's go to our question of the day segment. Insert graphic I'm not talented enough to make. This question was DM'd to me on my Insta. It's from a friend. His question was, what are your suggestions for someone suffering from creative block? Good question. We have definitely all been there. I actually read a book on creativity, and I super recommend it because it really did inspire me, and it's called Big Big as in large, grande. Big Magic. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert, who also wrote Eat, Pray, Love. I super enjoyed this book, and she talks about creative blocks in there. And one of the reasons that she suggests that maybe we struggle to create is that we put too much pressure on ourselves, which I definitely think is correct. But another interesting facet she puts in there that I personally had never thought of before is if you are like dying for creating to be your career, like that's fine. I've done it. We've all done it probably, but that's hard because you're putting a lot of demands on your creativity. You're demanding so much. You're like, you need to provide for me. That's so much to ask of anyone or anything. So she kind of suggests not putting that pressure on yourself. Get another steady job and be creative on the side, and do not demand anything of your creativity. Do not ask it. Just kind of let it be and let it flourish. That was not something I'd ever heard of before, but I thought it was really smart. Obviously it worked for her because now we all know her name. As hard as that is, try not to demand so much of your creativity. Be kind to yourself about it. Just understand that it might just be a piece of your life. It might not be your whole life, but still, how awesome is that it's a piece of your life that you get to experience. And when you do get to experience, fully live in it and commit to it. Another thing that she also wrote in this book, so if you want creativity to come to you, you're asking for something to come to you. And she said, think of a person on the street. Would a person come to you on the street if you looked tired, you were hungry, you were whining? Would anyone approach you? Probably not. So her idea is like, if you're well rested, well fed, and showered, the odds that creativity are going to come to you are higher, which also makes sense. That's just kind of the be well fed and watered thing, and everything comes easier to you. So that's another thing, is just self-care in the process. Have you been literally sitting in your bed for 3 days straight trying to finish this project? Well, maybe if you just take a step back and do all that self-care stuff, maybe it'll come to you. A third thing that I think is a commonly known thing, to step away from the project, which is kind of what all these things are saying, but truly step away from it in all senses of the word. That doesn't mean put on a TV show and still be thinking about it. That doesn't mean go out with a friend and then talk to the friend about it. Like, fully, completely disconnect. Again, not an easy thing to do, but somehow find something that completely takes your mind off of it, because we don't realize the power of our subconscious mind, but it is always operating. So while you are fully disconnected, your subconscious is like brewing up some really good ideas. Alright, and my last piece of advice for a creative block is in a book that I'm reading right now. It's called Start Right Where You Are, and I'm loving this book. The chapters are like so short. They're like 2 or 3 pages each, so it's super manageable, and at the end of every chapter she gives you like an action plan, like something to do. To be honest, I haven't done any of them. In this book, Sam says to make disposable art. Just make anything, even if you think it's bad. At least you have something to go off of. And maybe those 3 bad ideas finally launch you to the one you've been looking for. So I would say don't disqualify any ideas, even if they're really stupid. Give it a chance. You don't know what it could turn into. You don't know what someone else could see the potential in it. Yada, 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 yada. If you're going through a creative block, we've all been there. We stand with you. Go take a shower. Go take a walk around the block. Completely clear your mind and try and take the stress and pressure off of yourself. That is all for today. Again, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. I just spit a huge fireball of spit. And send in those questions. I think they're great topics of discussion. If you want to be featured on my show with me and Lil Mario, come on over. Ooh, we could do like a phone-in thing. Phone a friend. I don't know. Still spitballing, only my 2nd episode here, but like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, everyone.